the government won its case on Bill 5 in terms
Yes.
of Metropolitan Toronto. What's your perception of what the next steps are? Because we're only 4 weeks away from that election. There were candidates for 47 wards or whatever. Now there's going to be some method by which they go to 25, which is a big change management agenda.
It is. The nominations stayed open for 2 days after the bill passed. All the candidates now have declared where they're going to be. It's now up to them to decide how they're going to get their message out to the larger wards that they're representing.
Because in the short term, if all those candidates, none of them resign, they go to the electorate with rather large slates, which means the winner is actually a smaller proportion of the electorate, which makes representation and mandate difficult.
That's one way to look at it. The other way that you can look at it is we did go from 47 wards down to 25, so you're still representing the same population in Toronto. As a percentage, you may come down a little bit in what your voter is, but for the total number of people who are casting their vote for you, for some of those candidates, they're going to see that go up.
And it is 25 candidates, or 25 wards for 2.5 million people, which is about 100,000. Using that math, you don't need 1 or 2 ward councillors for the city of Peterborough, which makes the analogy so much harder to understand.
It does, but you have to also look at, you need a critical mass of people. If you don't have enough representation, then you can't get anything done. And if you have too many, then by the same token, you can't get anything done. When you do the comparison here, in this riding, provincially, I represent about 154,000 people. So I'm able to do it, and I'm able to do it effectively. I don't see why someone else can't do it effectively. When you compare councils, taking Peterborough Council, for example, we have 10 councillors and a mayor, so we have 11 on council. But the councillors are all part-time. They don't have staff. And they represent us. In Toronto, they're full-time councillors. They have a full-time complement of staff, so they're going to be able to do the work.
Yeah, they have infrastructure behind them. Any sense of how the candidates themselves are reacting? I imagine it might be a distribution of feedback.
There have been some that have been very positive about it, and there have been actually relatively few since the court decision who've come forward and said that they were upset. It's been interesting to see that some of the long-term councillors will now be in wards where they're competing against each other, and it's going to be interesting to see how that dynamic plays out.